Decompressing your nervous system takes time and patience. This past weekend, my boyfriend and I went to a wedding out in the Poulsbo area. I think that's how it's pronounced. It could also be Poulsbo. I've been getting on ferries and traveling around the western part of Washington since I was little. My family grew up doing a lot of car camping, where we would go around trialing state parks. Being out in the western part of the region has always brought me immense peace. Smells of salt water, campfire, and forest bring me a sense of curiosity, calm, and wonder. Every time I'm out there, I think how differently my life would be if I lived in a small coastal town. What would I do all day? Would I be happier? Does being happier even matter? The reality is, I'm happy where I am, and I like being in the city in this season of life. I like all the activities and community I have, but trips like this remind me that I'm just a stone's throw away from a nature-induced nervous system reset. Hello. Today is July 12th. It is about 8 p.m. and it is kind of officially starting to feel like the middle of summer. The weather is phenomenal right now. There are neighbors out barbecuing and the sun is setting and it's just beautiful and crisp and blue. My boyfriend and I got back today from going to a wedding out in the Poulsbo / Poulsbo, because I don't quite know how to pronounce it, area. This was a long time coming. It was for close friends and it was a big wedding, and we are so happy that we went, and we're also so tired. It was such like a go weekend. But I think in my last video I was talking about how I feel like every day I get 3% more relaxed, and between the time off that I had recently and this weekend, I do really feel like I am kind of distancing myself from school. Again, I can't get like too comfortable because I do want to pursue the CPA. I can't remember if I said when I want to start doing that, and I'm hesitant to give any sort of timeline because I just don't want to necessarily even like think about it. I want to stay in this dreamlike state of being in summer mode. I guess a little recap from the weekend. We had like a rehearsal dinner Friday night, and then Saturday, my boyfriend was busy because he was part of the groomsmen party, so I pretty much didn't see him all day until the actual wedding. But I went on a little solo trip. I went to a really good cafe for breakfast and got a latte and a breakfast burrito. I ran a quick errand just because we forgot mouthwash and I really wanted that in the hotel and they didn't have any. And then I took some time just like walking around Poulsbo. It was super cute. I hadn't been there in many years. It's funny. I think, like I said in my beginning clip, I've done a lot of traveling on ferries around the state, but it was often like if you're bothering to get on a ferry, go far, like I feel like we would minimum drive like 2, maybe 3 hours to wherever we were going. So I feel like there are parts of like the Bremerton, Poulsbo, Bainbridge, Kingston area, these like coastal towns that aren't quite as far, that I'm just like not as versed in. I know the ferry system very well, but I don't actually know what's going on in town for them. And it was really nice. I really want to make more trips out there. I think I have a goal to try to hit those 4 before the end of 2027, or sorry, I'm at the end of 2026, whether it be like a day trip or an overnight. But the weather is just banging, and I think this would be fun day trips to take, especially while the weather's nice. So yeah, walked around Poulsbo, did some window shopping, checked out their like local aquarium that was phenomenal, especially for the price, given it's like a donation. And then came back to the hotel, chilled in the hot tub with a friend for a minute, and then went to the wedding. And this wedding was, it was beautiful, and it was such a lovely celebration of love. But it is just funny how like weddings really do bring up a lot of questions internally And not that I feel like unsatisfied or like unprepared to like answer those, but like, you're meeting a lot of new people for the first time, and the go-to questions are like, where do you live? What do you do? Are you in a relationship? Like, not that they're asking outright like that, but it's like, it's noticeable if someone shows up with or without a partner. And there is just so much like self-reflecting that can be done when it comes to those questions. And, I introduced myself so many times and was like, the more times you say it, you're like, I really do that thing, don't I? Or I really am going to be transitioning to that new career, aren't I? And it just is like a moment of, I don't know, some sort of like radical recognition of having to be like, yep, this is where am in life, because I'm having to say it, 15, 20 times in the evening. But, I think I like weddings. I'm starting to enter that season of life where folks are, seemingly getting married left and right. And next thing you know, it'll probably be baby showers. But I get it too if you don't like weddings and it's like too many questions too quickly. Because I do think, it's, it is not like an invasive environment, but it is a curious one where people have questions as a means to get to know one another. And it can just be a lot, but everyone there was very lovely for the most part, and I'm happy that I went. I guess what I kind of wanted to jump into next was just talking about decompressing. I am having a bit of an identity crisis as the summer goes on, just because it's been a long time since I, number one, have, had nothing going on just besides like working and enjoying my life. And even before I went back to school, when I was working, I always had some sort of like project on the side, whether it be like I was putting on a play or was in like a specific acting class that had, some sort of like performance at the end of the quarter, or I had some sort of dance thing going on where that had a performance. Like, I've always been a little bit goal oriented when it comes to my hobbies, kind of unintentionally. Like, the goal is to like have fun and experience, but you're always working up to something. And school was very much so that I was like constantly working up to a midterm or up to a final or working up to graduating, or just there was many benchmarks to be had. And I am struggling a little bit with the forced break I've given myself, which is good. I know I need to like sit in this time where I am not just signing up for too much. Like, I really want to enjoy vacations that we go on and people that I'm around and workout classes that I'm going to. It's just, I don't know, I haven't quite rewired. I don't know if I've ever rewired my brain to just be accepting of those things as being satisfying wholly. I feel like there's always a little part of me that wants that like benchmark item to achieve, maybe is a term you could use, but I don't know, perform is maybe a better word. But it's taking all of this to say, it's taking all of me not to want to like sign up for an acting class or an additional dance class or like jump into some other new hobby, just because I'm feeling like I am enjoying myself, but it's also like I don't like feeling like I'm wasting my free time, which, is why I have all of those little goal setting videos out there, and why I fill my time with trying to learn new things. But, I also like doing things that are pushing myself, that are in community. So that's why I like doing like the acting classes and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just realizing that for me, I just don't think I need to do as much of that as I used to. I used to like always be in a class, whereas I think now if I do that for like one or two seasons a year, that should be plenty for me. And I really just need to like sink into being in the moment during the summertime. It's just so hard. The summer really is busy too, and it's hard to stay present when you're kind of like always planning for like the next weekend or the next hangout. And I think the whole like being off the phone is very helpful for that, but also just not overloading yourself. Like, there is something to be said about building in more free time for yourself, and thus you're able to like enjoy the things that you have going on more. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say on that. I want to reiterate what I said in the beginning is that, decompression takes time and patience. I know that a certain level of boredom for me is good. It just feels very foreign and very uncomfortable to sit in. But I do recognize that like that boredom is kind of needed to like incite actually really launching into other areas of interest. Like I really want to get into sewing. I really would like to be more of a regular in some of my dance classes. The whole dance class thing is kind of, it's not like falling off the bandwagon by any means. Like I still go, but I don't push myself the way I used to. There is more strength and flexibility that I want to achieve. And I think it's so much harder to do that when you're not attending a class regularly. If I'm like going to a different class every week of the month, it's hard to, find that community and build a relationship with the people in the class and the teacher. Whereas like through the winter and the spring, I feel like I was going to the same classes routinely and building more community that way. And thus then when I, was busy and would want to quit, it's like, no, but I'm going to see like so-and-so, I got to go. And you would just stick with it. And I just feel very, like, even though I'm in routine with like work and still going to class, I feel very out of routine with like what that class is. And like, even like the projects at work are very different right now than what I've been working on. So that just feels a little bit out of the norm for me. People are on vacation, so there's like different coverage happening, and you're not having as many meetings as you usually do, or you're having like a ton because you're trying to fit them all in the week where everybody is actually at work. And so somewhere it's just very destabilizing, and it can be kind of hard to live in the moment because of that. But I think just like, again, taking moments like this and to like reflect on that make me remember like, this is, for better or for worse, this is just a season that we're in right now. And I think the best thing that I can do is try to enjoy it. And, when I'm out in places that require a ferry to get there, double down on getting off the phone and being present and enjoying it, because that season comes and goes quickly here in the Seattle area. So this is a short video, but I think that's all I have for you. More news on accounting and the CPA to come in the future. But for now, I hope you are enjoying your evening or day or morning, wherever you are. And I will talk to you later. All right, bye.